Welcome back to Ration, everybody. Today we're going to be eating a little bit more vintage USMRE menu number 6 chicken and Thai sauce. I do not know what the production date of this is, simply because there's no date code on the outside of this Warnick bag. So we're going to have to crack into this guy, see what the date code is, see if things are still edible. I'm not even going to bother with the flameless ration heater in here, considering it has some age on it. I want to give myself the best possible chance of this chicken and Thai sauce actually tasting good. That is, if it is still edible. So without further ado, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more content, I need that support from you guys. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's crack into this guy and see what's on offer with menu number 6 chicken and Thai sauce. I will say these older bags from Warnick, good God almighty, that's a thick bag. Like, I don't know exactly what they were planning on you doing with this bag after you got your meal out of it, but you could certainly figure something out. That is a tough bag right there. So just because this is an older ration, let's get a... the sniff check does not have, actually it smells like nothing in there, so I suppose that's a positive sign. We got some French vanilla cappuccino. I've actually never seen one of those before in a USMRE. We've got this frickin' worthless flameless ration heater. We're going to throw, that's like a do not eat pack. We just chuck that. And looks like we have the main here, chicken and Thai sauce. We're starting to see this a little dated because the mains are in boxes. And then we have, look at that, yellow and wild rice pilaf colored with turmeric. Dig it. I'm actually hoping this stuff is still edible. We have your standard MRE crackers that still look like they have a pretty great vacuum seal on them. We have some nut raisin mix that has no vacuum seal. Not sure if that's still going to be good. We'll have to break into that and find out. Wait a minute. That's not supposed to be stuck to the bottom. What's going on in there? We've got your standard MRE spoon. We have some peanut butter. And that was literally stuck to the bottom of the package. It looks like it got heat sealed into the bottom of the package. And then we have our accessory packet with some really crusty looking Tabasco in there. We'll get into that in a second. So as stated, we have our chicken and Thai sauce, which oh, here we go. So that is 2014. So that would be the 2014, the 296th day. I really hope that's the case. I hope this isn't 2004, but you know, we'll find out. 293rd day of 2014. So it looks like this is the ration. It's fewer items than I'm accustomed to seeing in a USMRE. So we'll get this out onto a tray. Alright, so I'm just going to get these out of the boxes so I can inspect the retort pouches. Make sure there's been no delamination on those. That's very saucy. So the bag sounds a little crinkly. That may have delaminated ever so slightly. I'm still going to boil these guys. I want to give them every chance in the world to actually have some decent flavor. Check out this yellow rice pilaf. This guy doesn't have the same crunchy sound to it as this retort pouch does. So I'm going to go put these on the boil and I will be right back. So while those mains are boiling up in the kitchen, we'll get that cappuccino made up here in a second. Let's check out this nut raisin mix. Oh, that smells a little funky. I mean, Nuts have a lot of oils in there, so it doesn't surprise me that they smell like they've gone a little bit rancid. We'll still give them a bite. So we've got some almonds, some filberts, walnuts, raisins. The raisins actually still feel like they have a little bit of a bounce to them, which is pretty surprising. And of course some peanuts, which were probably the first thing to go bad. That's a shame. They certainly don't smell very edible. See if we can't catch a hiss off of these crackers. Not too shabby. Well, the crackers smell like nothing, which is a little unusual. Usually they do smell like crackers. Sometimes when you get crackers that have gone bad, they have a bit of a bleachy smell to them. That's especially true with the shelf-stable bread products. Those are kind of glistening. It's a little crazy. I mean, they smell kind of stale, if I'm being honest. Still held together pretty well. So let's just get a taste of the edge of this cracker to see if these things held up, if it's even worth trying to put some peanut butter on them. I mean, those taste exceptionally stale. I can't really say that they're bad, but by no means do they taste fresh, even under the vacuum seal they were under. I mean, they're edible. They're just stale, which is a shame. Hopefully this peanut butter has survived. If it has, it'll certainly help to mask the stale taste of those crackers. So this is still back when they actually gave you that extra ½ ounce of peanut butter and ½ ounce of cheese. So I'm not sure what the storage conditions were on this ration. If this ration had a lot of heat stress, obviously, heat stress is one of the worst things for a ration, that and inconsistent temperatures. When the temperature fluctuates a lot, neither of those things are good for a ration. And I definitely need to get a smell of that peanut butter to see if it smells rancid. That's a weird smell for peanut butter. I think I'm just going to have to get a taste of that on its own. But before I do that, let's see what we're working with in the drink department in case I need something to wash that down. So we'll crack into this accessory packet. You've got your standard MRE matches, cream colored tips. They work in damp conditions. We have a Tabasco that actually kind of still has a little bit of red flavor, a little bit of red color to it. I mean, I'm not using it. That's just, Tabasco's not really my thing. Especially not 10-year-old Tabasco, so that can just look kind of cool sitting on the table. We have some gum. We have a Lipton tea bag. Why do I keep getting just screwed out of the coffee? Non-dairy creamer, completely worthless for tea, y'all. We have some sugar. Okay, that's still granulated, that's good. We have a moist towelette, very nice. Clean up your digits. We have some salt. And we have your booger paper. If you watched a couple of videos back, you'll realize this is not toilet paper. This is just for a really serious booger. But thanks for that. So we'll go ahead and make up this tea just in case the peanut butter turns out to want to turn my mouth into like a filthy peanut butter wasteland. tea bag kind of smells like the matches. We'll make it up and we'll see what happens. The mains are upstairs boiling as we speak. Not too bad. And we're definitely gonna put our 4 grams of good old Domino sugar in there. Hopefully to cut down on the taste of the match heads that tea bag smelled like. What's a little sulfur? It can't hurt you, right? Don't they put sulfur in multivitamins or something? No, they don't. But anyway, don't take supplement advice from a guy that eats old food on the internet. There's a great piece of advice for you. Don't take supplementation or dietary advice from a guy who eats old food on YouTube. That's your lesson for the day. If you learn nothing else for the day, that's a good thing to remember. So now I can taste this peanut butter. If you have never had old rancid peanut butter before, it will coat the inside of your mouth with almost like a peanut butter flavored wax, and then that taste slowly engulfs your entire mouth, and it is an extremely difficult flavor to get out of your mouth once it's in your mouth, especially if you're stupid like me and accidentally stick a spoon in an old jar of peanut butter that you still thought was still good and put about half a teaspoon or 3/4 of a teaspoon of peanut butter directly into your big stupid face, and then next thing you know, it's really bad. I suggest you all try it at least once, so that way we can share the experience together. I'm hoping that this peanut butter does not do that to my mouth. But here goes. The MRE gods have shined on us today. This peanut butter is still completely edible. Gotta love you some US MRE peanut butter. I mean, this stuff is like, at this point, 10 years old. And a minimum of 10 years old. And it's still completely edible. And hopefully, it is going to completely mask the almost inedible staleness of these funky old crackers. So we're going to get all that peanut butter goodness out of there, just in case this is the only edible portion of the ration, because that is certainly possible. And we may need the salt for the main, so let's give this tea a chance. I'm a little apprehensive about it because it really did smell like a pack of matches when I took it out of the Lipton tea pack. It kind of smells like a pack of matches. Like, you know, it was almost as if I just took this and tied a string around it and just dunked it in the water to make some tea out of it. That's what this tastes like. So I imagine sulfur can't be completely horrible for you. I think like pirates used to run around with fuses sticking out of their mouth. Like, whatever. I mean, we'll give it a shot. Yeah, that right there, that is not cool. That literally tastes like the matches. So since we did the tea hot and it tastes like matches, we're gonna move that off to the side and just, you know, we're not gonna do anything with that. We're gonna make this cold because we may need something cold to drink. So I'm hoping this is like everything else in US MREs and contains absolutely no real dairy products. So yeah, so this should probably be just fine because quite frankly, there's no real ingredients in this. And that smells perfectly fine, as it should, because, well, it's kind of fake. Now you watch as I sat here and said this. Oh, this should be perfectly fine. Da da da. I'm gonna taste this. It'll probably taste like lighter fluid or something. You know, I guess just for fun, you know, just for the sake of the video, we can chuck this non-dairy creamer in there just to make it look good, because it's not going to hide the taste of those matches. We'll just let it dissolve into there just to look good for the video. This stuff is... When it says hot or cold, they really mean hot. I'm going to go snatch those mains off the boil. I'll be right back. All right, I am back with the mains, and these guys are, whew, they are hot, without a doubt. Definitely hard to handle. So, what I'd like to do is separate the two, at least for the time being. It seems like they kind of go together, but just in case one pouch didn't survive and the food inside of it is inedible, I don't want to destroy both pouches of food by adding them together in case one's bad. Well, that certainly doesn't smell bad. Whew. Okay, so there's your yellow and wild rice pilaf. Now, this retort pouch feels extraordinarily thin. I'm actually kind of worried about this one, to be honest with you. I'm going to hold this up so if you can see it, the crinkly nature of this retort pouch shows you that it's delaminated quite a bit. Now, I did just boil the crap out of it, but it was a little crinkly when I first got it out of the MRE bag, out of the box that it was in. So it does make me worry for this main a little bit. What is that? Oh. I feel like I should say a couple of Hail Marys on this one before we begin. Oh, that's just going to be so difficult. Like, from a visual perspective, that could be exactly what it's supposed to look like. Or that could just be like botulism that turned into like its own jello. I don't really know at this point, but we're gonna have to give it a try. I mean, have to? Yeah, I guess I do. I mean, I kind of said I would. That was the purpose of this video, I guess. Oh, damn it. Alright, so I'm going to try to get a little sniff on this guy. I don't know what it's supposed to smell like. I mean, it doesn't smell particularly rancid or anything. Doesn't smell particularly good either, to be honest. So I'm going to let that cool off just a little bit, because when things are nuclear boiling hot like that, they tend to just like burn your mouth instead of your taste buds actually be able to get a read on what's going on in here. Instead, I'm going to grab a couple of these nuts, which I'm really sure are going to leave a really bad taste in my mouth because they're probably completely rancid, and I'm going to hate myself for doing this. But I'm doing this for you guys, I guess. All right. Oh. Okay. Those are really bad. So the same flavor profile that I was kind of explaining to you with the peanut butter, as soon as I started to to crunch into these guys. I started to get that waxy, like if they made peanuts into candle wax, that's kind of what started to, just nope. Like, no. That's the only sample that we're going to get of that. At least it's kind of fun to see what was in here. I was looking forward to getting a new main item I've never experienced out of a US MRE, so. So here you can see there's some water chestnuts in here. We've got some chicken, mushrooms, which is always scary. Looks like we have some bell peppers. Not a whole lot else go. There's maybe some green peppers over here. Or is that another mushroom? Who knows? I mean, this is... Alright, so we're gonna try a baby bite. Just a little baby bite, because... You know, I'd like to be alive to do another ration. Let's take a look at that. Well, not knowing what it's supposed to taste like in the first place is really hard. Wow, that chicken gets really dry. Like, it starts out, when you first start to chew that chicken, it tricks you into thinking that it's moist. And then the more you chew it, it's almost like chicken jerky. Water chestnut actually still has a little bit of texture to it. I kind of expected that to be just mush. Water chestnut's still nice and crunchy. Let's get a taste of this rice. See some carrots in here, some peas, long grain and wild rice. There's definitely some seasoning going on in here. Let's see what that tastes like. You know, that's actually really tasty. That's really tasty, as a matter of fact. That's actually good. You know, I wish they would put something like this in today's US MREs. Like, why did you guys ever get rid of this as a menu item? I mean, here it is, 10 years old, and tasting pretty good. And the rice is not extremely firm, but it's not extremely mushy either. You know, it's somewhere in between where you would expect it to be as freshly cooked rice and where you would expect it to be as a 10-year-old MRE. You would expect this rice to be really pasty and just kind of mushy and falling apart, which it's not. So I definitely have to give it some props for that. This is actually a good side. I'm not really sure if the flavor of this rice pilaf is going to mix well with the slightly sour aftertaste of this main, and not even in like a it's bad. It's just it's the taste of the dish, I believe. It doesn't go bad together. I mean, this isn't the worst US MRE main. Totally not. At least it actually has some chicken in it instead of just having chicken on the bag, like that says chicken on the bag, and there's actually hardly any chicken in the main. This actually has some chicken in it. You know, it's a real shame that they cut out some of the menus that they do, or even some of the items that they cut out. I mean, like, that rice is great. Like, I don't know why they would have ever taken that out of the US MREs. So this rice is pretty amazing, actually. I mean, I'll have to give you guys an after action report from the hospital if that's where this lands me, but the rice absolutely saves the main. Like, the rice is the most amazing part of this MRE. Quite honestly, it's an interesting main. It's like kind of weird gooey sauce that it's in. It's kind of off-putting though. Probably just kind of some kind of thickener like cornstarch, or I don't know, gelled botulism. Who knows? You know, compared to what's on offer in today's US MRE selection, some of them will have a pretty decent main dish, but it's almost like they don't include anything like this rice pilaf anymore. You know, you get a main and you get a whole bunch of you know, sugary side items or something like that. This is actually a pretty great pairing. So I would have liked to have seen a better dessert item. You know, like that nut raisin mix sucks. Of course, that's bad, but even if it wasn't bad, that nut raisin mix honestly is crappy for a dessert. And then you have your crackers and peanut butter, which are great, but if you don't have any jelly or jam or something like that to go with them, that's going to be really dry. And it's not like you're going to mix it together with the peanuts. So that kind of sucks. Oh, and put some goddamn coffee in here and a drink mix. Not, well, put a regular coffee and a cold drink mix. For the love of God. I really think they should have civilians design these MREs anyway. The soldiers would be a lot happy with them. So I guess this being your desired item, we're going to go with one of these crackers and peanut butter. If we can get one. Oh, I guess we'll just take a bite of it. It's honestly amazing how stale those crackers are in comparison to the peanut butter. Like, those crackers are so stale that even with that big thick line of peanut butter on there, you taste the cracker through the peanut butter. It just tastes really stale. That's a shame. Peanut butter actually made it all this time, which is pretty amazing. That's a piece of food technology right there. This peanut butter stays edible many years after it has any right to really be still edible, which that's really, really amazing. So we'll give this French vanilla cappuccino a try. And that's pretty much exactly what you'd expect it to be. I mean, it's instant coffee with chemical additives to it, you know, vanilla flavor, soy lecithin, artificial creamer, all that stuff. And all that said, this is completely drinkable. It's not hateful. Thanks everybody for coming along with me on an old ration, menu number 6, chicken and Thai sauce. This was from 2014. Some items made it, some items not so much. It was still a lot of fun to try. Amazingly enough, the main and the rice made it perfectly. Peanut butter survived. Nuts took a tea. Tastes like matches. Can't do that. All things considered, a lot of the items in this pouch survived. Some of the items I didn't think were going to, like the peanut butter and the mains. I was expecting the crackers to be just fine. But I didn't really know what the contents of this ration were going to be anyway. So it was a lot of fun to try out. Thanks for joining me, everybody. If you like the videos, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Talk to me in the chat. I like talking with you guys. Let me know what you want to see next. Let me know what you thought about this review. Until next time, guys, eat 'em up.